Hello everyone and welcome back to another Outriders video. Today we're going to go over my new build for Pyromancer. Not a lot has changed, but it's slightly updated what I've used to get the current world record for duo speedrunning on Boomtown. Now just before we get started, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you're notified when I upload more videos here on YouTube. Or come and check me out over on Twitch. I'm probably streaming there live right now. Twitch.tv/DJTICKLE. So what we'll do, we'll go over it bit by bit. First of all, let's start with the gear and the mods. Nothing has changed with the guns. As you can see, I'm still using the Death Shield with Morning Winds. The Anomai, that comes with Morning Winds, so I've got Fortress on there for if I need to fire it for some extra weapon damage. And then the pistol with Morning Winds. Pistol can be absolutely anything, do not worry about that, just make sure you've got Morning Winds on there. Then we'll take a look at the helmet. You can see from the attributes, if you didn't see the previous video, all attributes will be Anomaly Power, Status Power and Cooldown Reduction. The two most important ones here is Anomaly Power and Cooldown Reduction. If you can't get Status Power on, it's not a huge deal. It just gives you that little bit of extra damage. Obviously, we're using Heat Wave. As you can see, we're using Ride the Wave. We want one extra Heat Wave. And then we're using Ashen Boost, because we're going to be turning our enemies to Ash frequently. An extra 20% damage is really nice. And if some of these mods don't make any sense, don't worry. When we get to the skills and when we get to the class tree, it'll all come together. Next, we're using the armor of the Akari. We can't do anything about the attributes on this one. Anomaly Power, Skill, Life Leech and Cooldown Reduction. They never change. But it comes with Detonator, the tier 3 mod. Decrease the skills cooldown by 50%, and that's for overheat. Super important for this build. Cooldowns being the lowest possible is where you're going to get any kind of advantage with this build. We already know that we've got enough power to kill the adds, and as long as we've got enough power to do that, everything else needs to be in cooldown. Third Degree is my next one, and this is more of a support buff for my teammate. Like I said, this was for duo Boomtown running. This gives them weapon damage increased by 30% for 5 seconds, and I am spamming overheat. So they've got a constant buff of an extra 30% at all times. If we very quickly flip over, as you can see, my overheat cooldown is only 4 seconds. So essentially I can keep that up for a long amount of time, if not indefinitely. Looking at the Akari set piece bonus, as you can see we've got 3 pieces on right now. Every enemy damaged by Heat Wave grants 50% anomaly power, and that's a bonus for 10 seconds. So super important where you're throwing your Heat Waves out. Moving on to the legs, that comes with Anomaly Power, Skill, Life Leech and Cooldown Reduction. They come with Anomaly Echo. Now unfortunately we can't get rid of Anomaly Echo. The build just doesn't allow for it, but that grants some firepower and quite a lot of anomaly power bonus on skill activation for 15 seconds. So it is where it is. It's all good stats, but if we was going to replace a mod on the build, that would be the one that I would replace. Then we got Pants on Fire, increase by 48k the damage to enemies who were damaged by the skill overheat and did not have their status consumed. So especially for ad clearing, a little bit of extra damage, especially if you realise that, hang on, I'm firing off all of my skills here, but I'm leaving enemies with, 5-10%, I'm not quite got enough. That might just be the mod that will tip you over the edge. Purple gloves next. As you can see, back to our stats, anomaly, status and cooldown. Ash Blast increases the range by 66%. Super important. If you're going to be clearing the levels out, you definitely need that in the build. It's only a tier 1 mod as well, so really great, really easy to get. And then we're using Burnout, again another really good mod. Damaged enemies take 25% more damage for 8 seconds, and that's from a heat wave. So really good damage boost there as well. Last we're going with Boots of Akari. Unfortunately they come with max health, but they come with one of the most important mods for this build, and that is Master Consumer. Overheat. This skill will consume either Burn or Ash status to deal damage. Consuming both at once increases the damage by 150%, which is huge, absolutely huge when you take into account the set bonus and all other buffs from all the other mods. That's when you start seeing the map get wiped. Last, we're using Death Sentence. Again, for when we're using Ash Blast. Weapon and anomaly damage against enemies affected. It's all increased by 40% and 30% for 5 seconds. So you get 40% extra damage for weapon damage and 30% extra damage for anomaly damage. Really nice again. And it doesn't just buff you, it buffs your teammates as well. Now, just before we leave the gear section, just a note, when we look at the chest piece, the 3rd degree mod, if you were running solo, this would be the mod that you could change. There's no benefit to having the 3rd degree in whatsoever if you're solo, or if you're in a team of 2 pyromancers or 3 pyromancers perhaps. So if you want to change anything, that would be the mod that you would be able to change. And you can just go with a few different things. Damage absorber perhaps would work. Pyro also has blacksmith, which is exclusive to its own class, which is really good as well for armor. As you can see, each status condition consumed by the skill grants 52k armor bonus for 8 seconds. So a lot of armor. And if you need some survivability in this build, because we're not going to have the ability to take the Phoenix Nestling node in the skill tree, that's going to be what you want to take. Flip over to the skills. Nothing's changed here at all since the last build. Heatwave, Ash Blast and Overheat with some really low cooldowns. And then when we look at the class tree, it looks a little bit strange at first sight. I'm not going to disagree with you there, but this is what we're running with. Now, huge shout out to All Day. I will link his YouTube channel down below. He was the person that sent me this and said, here, give this a go. And the difference was absolutely phenomenal since the last build. Really nice improvement. So a huge shout out to him. I'll leave this up for just a second so you can get a screenshot or whatever it is you need. But hot situation is really the game changer from the previous build. Activating your immobilized skills increases your anomaly power for 45% for 10 seconds. And stacking on top of everything else that we already have, it's huge. We still managed to grab this node here for a cooldown for everything by 10%. Really nice. We get this node as well. Enemies damage is increased by 20% if they're below 30% health, which kind of helps with bosses and things as well. But yeah, we still get our other important nodes here. We're increasing our explosive skill base damage by 30%, which is great because it's base damage. And we still get our damage against elites as well to help out with the bosses. What you can do here, if you really wanted to, you can increase your resistance by 20%. Do be sure to come over to Twitch, twitch.tv/DJTICKLE, where you'll find me live streaming, probably right now, playing Outriders and helping people out. So if you need any CT or Eye of the Storm help, come over and say hi. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, that subscribe button, and comment down below. Let me know if you like this build or not, or if you've run an alternative version that seems to be better. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.